3:30 game. Another earlier game. Getting some of these trash ACC teams getting 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night games. What's the deal? I don't know why Clemson can't get these games. Clemson and Pitt would be one of the more decent games this year,
Yep.
and they're still barely getting past lunchtime here. So I don't really get why you got, say, Miami, Georgia Tech, and Duke, Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech is worth getting 7 p.m.s, and Clemson's not. I don't really understand this at all. But anyways, Pittsburgh 5-4, 4-4 in the conference, 3:30 p.m. traveling to Clemson, number 4 overall in the nation, 7-1 overall, 6-1 in conference. I say in conference because Notre Dame is now in the conference, as we all know. ESPN's FPI predictor or prediction power index here has 95% chance to Clemson. And that would mean carry the 1 to divide by 16. That would mean 5% chance for Pittsburgh to win this game. You got Kenny Pickett, a guy who continues to look really well. I mean, I think he's no different than, say, an Ian Book. He might not be as good, might not have as good of a team surrounding him, but he's a decent player, and he's now back from injuries that he had earlier on in the season. So some of those 4 losses were during the time when Kenny Pickett was not playing the game. Alan and I stopped picking with Pittsburgh when Pickett was on the bench, injured. When Pickett came back, Alan and I started going back on the Pickett train, and it's worked out. So Kenny Pickett, the way he goes, that team goes. So depending on what he can do, 2,003 yards passing, 10 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, more passing yards than Mr. Trevor Lawrence right now. But and he's had actually more games out, I believe. So take that for what it is. And then you have. You've got Travis Etienne. You've got Vincent Davis. Excuse me, Travis Etienne's for us. Vincent Davis, 113 carries, 366 yards, and 5 touchdowns. Really, they kind of an even team, about 100 yards rushing a game, about 270 yards passing a game. But their defense is really what kind of solidifies them. Yards allowed, 311 yards allowed this year. Clemson's yards allowed this year, 305. So pretty similar there. One thing that's telling is that rushing defense, 87.3 yards rushing. And again, like I said, against Virginia Tech, the best rushing team in the ACC, locked them down. Only allowed 156 yards rushing, no rushing touchdowns, and ended up winning the game and getting in the backfield very frequently against Virginia Tech there. So that's something that I've got my alert on. They beat Virginia Tech 47-14. They also had a chance to play Florida State at Tallahassee. Go figure, they allow players to play there. Even though the team, like I said, had at least 10 players not play because of COVID issues, 41-17. So 2 games back to back, they have won by 40 points or more. So a team that can score, a team that has a good defense, going up a Clemson team who can also score 503 yards per game in offense, 353 through the air, 150 on the ground. We all know Clemson struggled rushing the ball, and I think they're going to continue to struggle rushing the ball against a Pittsburgh team that is one of the best rushing defenses in the country. So that's something to watch out there. There's an advantage for Pittsburgh that I don't like, and it kind of makes me a little bit nervous. As you know, Clemson's last game was on November 7th. So many weeks ago against Notre Dame. So they had a bye week, and then Florida State didn't play. And so it's been kind of tough to be sitting around as a Clemson fan wondering if the Tigers are going to get their chance to get back on the field again. I believe they will, because Pittsburgh has shown that they don't care how many players they're down. They're still going to play their games, unlike other teams that we talk about. So I'll start with Houston. As you heard my concerns here, should I really be concerned? Because before the show, you're telling me that this is going to be a beat down. This is going to be a take out your frustrations from Florida State, from Notre Dame, from COVID in general, beat down.
Yeah, no, absolutely. There's not a point spread high enough. I understand your concern that Pittsburgh has a very good rush defense. And they do. They have a good defensive front. But Miami also had a good defensive front, and Clemson ran all over them. I feel like they're on the same level as Miami. Um, Clemson's going to be healthier. Clemson's going, assuming that there isn't COVID issues this week with Clemson. You're talking about getting a healthy team back for the majority part of it. Pittsburgh's still probably going to be short a lot of players. I'm assuming some are going to be on defense. I feel like having a couple of factors factor into this is why Clemson is going to make this easy work, quick work, blowout city, if you will. One, the loss to Notre Dame. That's already, they've heard about that for 2 weeks. Now they've had to hear about it for 3 weeks, and they're tired of hearing about that. Second thing is this whole Florida State thing and everybody coming to the aid of poor, lowly Florida State, little old Florida State. You can't say that you can't blame them for anything. Clemson's just mean old Clemson. They don't care about anything. They're tired of hearing that, and they got their coaches back. So that's another rallying cry. This is similar to the 2011 Carolina rant. They're going to come out on fire for that. Thirdly, and this is the most important thing, if Dabo sees a highlight of the 2016 field goal, that's reason enough for him to score an additional 14 points in this game. That's why I think Clemson's going to just roll on Saturday.
So, Alan, I'll pass it to you. Do you have similar thoughts about the game and how Clemson's going to perform against Pittsburgh?
Well, look, this is kind of an interesting game. Look, we've kind of been relatively high on Pitt this year. Like you said, Pitt's 5-4, as you mentioned, and Kenny Pickett was out for 2 games. It just happened to be the 2 biggest games of the year outside of Clemson. He was out for Notre Dame. He was out for Miami. So it really would have been good to see what happened in those 2 games, and we weren't able to. In those other 2 losses, by the way, they were to Boston College and NC State, both only by 1 point. So Pittsburgh plays a lot of close games. I think there's the potential, even though Clemson has gotten healthier, we all know James Kelsey's going to be out, so there's potential for Kenny Pickett to kind of exploit the middle of the field a little bit in the passing game. And he may be able to do that. If he has time to throw, he may be able to do that. I like having Tyler Davis back and having Mike Jones back, assuming both of those guys play and they are healthy. That's going to do a lot for our pass rush, and it's going to do a lot for our coverage ability with Mike Jones out there as well. So I think Clemson's going to be able to make up for that more than they have been when they were down 2 linebackers as opposed to 1. So look, I think I'm just going to have to kind of give everything away. My instinct this whole time was to pick Pittsburgh in this game plus the points because, again, I think they're a pretty decent team. I think there's a weakness that we have that they can exploit. And plain and simple, Clemson hasn't gotten off to a good start in the past 2 games that they've played. Now they've been off 2 weeks, so they may be a little rusty. But going back to something Houston said, I mean, the fact of the matter is a travesty just happened in college football. Dabo's ticked about it, and I think Pitt's just the team in the way when the tragedy occurred. And I think Clemson makes a statement this week, and I hate that it's got to be the Pittsburgh Panthers, but I think that's the way it's going to be. So actually, right now, I am probably leaning.
Whoa!
To cover that.
Whoa! By the way, I love the blue and yellow. I hate the pointed numbers. Just don't know what it is. It's like you got that number 8. The Pickett number 8 is like that number 8 you make in middle school. The S, yeah. And I hate that. Line, connect. I hate that. But if you look, total defense, Notre Dame in the ACC, total defense, Notre Dame 1, Clemson 2, Pittsburgh 3. Passing defense, Louisville 1, Clemson 2, Notre Dame 3, Pittsburgh 4. Rushing defense, Notre Dame 1, Pittsburgh 2, Clemson 3. So you've got 2 solid defenses going up against each other. Scoring defense, Notre Dame 1, Clemson 2, Pittsburgh 3. Where the challenge is in rushing offense, passing offense, total offense. Total offense, Clemson 2, Pittsburgh 12. Passing offense, Clemson 1, Pittsburgh 4. So Pittsburgh shows you that they're having more success passing the ball. Rushing offense, Clemson, I don't like to mention this, even with Travis Etienne, 11th in the ACC in rushing offense. Pittsburgh, though, 13th. So we're talking about a team, out of all the griping we've done in rushing offense, is worse than Clemson rushing the ball. So just keep that in mind. Scoring overall, Clemson number 1 at 45 points per game. Pittsburgh 9 at 29.8 points per game. So if you look at the average That's about 20 points there, give or take 2021. So you're looking, it's going to be close. The spread is there at 20. I got 24 right now, gentlemen, or 25. I got minus 25 for Clemson. I think that Vegas does that on purpose because they know the stats. Another thing I like to look at is opponent third down allowed percentage. Whew. Notre Dame 1, Clemson 2, Pittsburgh 3. This defense for Pittsburgh, even with the loss of Paris Ford, who opted out for the NFL, I really feel like that this team is going to be very close to playing a team like, say, Boston College. Oh, by the way, Alan, you mentioned it, lost 31-30. Mm-hmm. So my concern is, Houston, I'm going to pass it to you now. Tell me now that I've said that, has that changed your thoughts at all that Clemson, that they will not be able to keep it within 25 points? So if you started this game with the defense that we know Pitt has, plus 25 starting the game, you think that Clemson can still beat them?
Yes, without a doubt. Once again, this is the best team, especially if healthy, that Pitt is going to play all year, all right? Notre Dame, they were good. They're a good team. Notre Dame didn't play us when we were fully healthy. Fully healthy Clemson is the best team. Pitt, Virginia Tech, if we make up with Florida State, and Notre Dame will play all year. If we're healthy, we will cover.
Okay. All right. I got a lot of people in the chat, too, telling me as well. I just want to go out there. You know, I'm a statistician here. I like to look at the numbers on the board and then make my decision based on that. It makes me a little nervous. I'm telling you, I feel like this could be another Boston College type game. However, Boston College did not have Trevor Lawrence in it. I understand that. And Notre Dame did not have Trevor Lawrence in it as well, even though DJ, a lot better against Notre Dame than he was against Boston College. But DJ did come back from 18 points down. Do you feel like that Pittsburgh has any chance of having a lead at all? Alan, I'll pass it to you.
Well, I mean, if you look at the past couple of Clemson games, you'd have to say they have a chance at getting the lead. I don't think it's going to happen in this game. I just don't. I think Venables is gonna have a good game plan with a more healthy team, and I don't think Pitt's going to be able to get a lot going on offense right now. I just don't think it's going to happen. We've talked about it all year long how important Tyler Davis is. Is Tyler Davis going to be 100%? I don't know. Right now, apparently he's going to play. Everybody thinks he's going to play, at least assumes he's going to play. So you got to think he's at least close to 100%, or they may hold him back a little bit. But if you've got Tyler Davis and Brian Brzee on the inside to help that pass rush, and you've got a Mike Jones who can cover in space, as well as, of course, Balin Spector, like I said, it's kind of making up for some of the things we might lack on defense. I think they're going to have a tough time moving the ball.
John says Mike Jones came out today and mentioned that he feels he's 100%. He feels as good as he did before Syracuse game. So Beautiful. that's got to give you some excitement too there as well. Let's go around the horn here. Houston, Mr. 7-1. I'm assuming you're picking Clemson to cover the spread.
1,000% yes. Clemson covers. Clemson wins this game. I'm going to say they cover handily. They win this one. I'm going to say, I'm not quite ready to say in the 50s range, but I think they win this one 48-14.
Alan, I'll pass it to you.
Not too bad. I think Clemson, I think they kind of come out firing. I think they get a good lead at halftime. I think you might even see some DJ in this game right now. I'm going to take Clemson 41-13. Just covering the spread.
Just barely covering. The computer has 41-22. A 19-point winner. Guys, I love you. I really do. I love Clemson. But Clemson is 2-6 against the spread this year. Can't do it. I'm going lone wolf. Not because I hate Clemson. Not because I want to be ragged on YouTube for the next week or maybe entire year if I do lose this game. But I just statistically... 24 points, good defense. Clemson not been good against the spread. They've hurt me. I've picked them literally every week until this week. And it's because of the defense. And because really last week, I didn't pick the plus points. And every one of those teams just about won. So underdogs are doing really well this year. I think I saw a stat out there where it's like I think it was 1 week, maybe 6 weeks in, it was like 73% underdogs. So I don't know. It's been kind of tough for especially the road underdogs there, or they've been doing well. So I'm gonna go Lone Wolf. God, it just hurts me to say that. It just really does.
That's
But
cool. It's a win-win for you.
It's a win-win.
win-win.
It really is.
Who cares?
If you look at it, it's a win-win. If Clemson blows them out, hey, guess what? My favorite team blew them out. If Clemson doesn't blow them out, then
Alan, it's a win-win for us too, because if Clemson blows them out,
That's
we
right.
can track them for the rest of the year.
That's exactly right. I'm good with that.